I have some frequently asked questions from many viewers. So definitely we're looking for your responses. So let's move on to the first FAQ, that who all are good candidates for TAVR?
Yeah. So, this is again very important. Once we are clarifying all the issues related to TAVR, this requires again a good explanation. Who are the real ideal candidates for TAVR? So now, one first thing prerequisite is that patient should have a critical aortic stenosis. The narrowing of the aortic valve should be critical, and as I mentioned, to give you a parameter, 1 centimeter square of aortic valve area or lesser. So these are the candidates, and where TAVR should be considered, where aortic valve treatment should be considered rather. Patient should be symptomatic, like breathing discomforts or syncopal episode, loss of consciousness, or chest discomforts, or heart function is going down because of valvular dysfunction, or and the aortic valve area is 1 centimeter square or lesser. So these are the subset of patients who require the aortic valve treatment. Now we do the further ramification, whether they are fit for surgical aortic valve replacement. We need to ascertain that fact. Clearly, if the patient is beyond 65 years of age, the habitus is frail, then patient becomes a very high risk candidate for surgical aortic valve replacement. And those are the patients where clearly, as a guideline, the TAVR is indicated and preferred over surgical AVR. Patients beyond 65 years of age and a frail habitus. There are other factors also where they become very high risk for surgical aortic valve replacement, like any comorbidities. Patient has a lung problem where giving anesthesia and bringing out patient from the ventilator becomes difficult. Patient may have a liver issue or other comorbidities. Patient may have a heart dysfunction of severe gravity. That itself is a high risk factor for surgery. So all these subsets are clear indicators for TAVR to be considered over and above the surgical aortic valve replacement, and that is where TAVR should be offered to these patients first, and which obviously is much more comfortable, and the risk factor associated with the procedure is much lesser as compared to surgical AVR.
Right. So, Dr. Kapoor, this pops up another question in my mind, and that's a very frequently asked questions by our viewers as well. How long this treatment by TAVR takes, and how much time does the patient needs to stay in the hospital?
Okay, yeah. So this is again very important. So TAVR procedure, as I mentioned, it looks very easy from this diagram which I have explained, but it's an intricate procedure. It requires very precise steps. It requires a proper expertise. It requires a proper team. And also one thing I like to add here is that a decision about TAVR should be taken after a discussion with the heart team. Now, who are the members of heart team? The cardiac surgeon and an interventional cardiologist and a cardiac anesthesia guy. All three should sit together or should discuss the case together and then take a call unanimously that patient is a high risk candidate for surgical aortic valve replacement and TAVR should be the first preference. So heart team approach is must, and we should emphasize heavily on the fact that it should not be a biased decision of a interventional cardiologist only to go ahead with TAVR. A cardiac surgeon should also be kept into the loop, and the whole case should be discussed with him before taking a final call that this is a preferred option. So now you also mentioned about your next question, that how this procedure is done. So once the patient is admitted, a very good CT scan of the aortic valve is must. We should exactly know the dimensions of the aortic valve and all important structures near that aortic valve, but because we are going to deploy a foreign device in that area, we should have all the dimensions and what problems we can face. This is all told to us by a radiologist and a CT dimensions. Once we have done that, patient is ready for the procedure, we usually do the procedure in a hybrid OT, in a hybrid cath lab. So this is a special unit which obviously Medanta has a really good hybrid OT with us, and we usually do this procedure in the hybrid OT where the cardiac surgeons are also on the standby. But this procedure is not undertaken nowadays in anesthesia. We do not induce anesthesia in these patients. It is done under a sedation. Patient is just given a sleeping medicine. Patient is sleeping, and we all are monitoring all the parameters. And as I mentioned, once we have reached this stage, we go through access in the groin and do the procedure as already explained in the previous video, and then deploy the valve. The whole procedural timing usually is around 2 hours, and 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the complexity of each and every case. And once this procedure is done, patient is shifted back to ICU. Overnight, he stays in the ICU, 1 or 2 nights, depending on the parameters. And if all going smooth, patient is discharged on the third day. There are few issues which can happen which may extend the length of the hospital stay for the patient by 1 or 2 days more, but I'm not talking on that. But usually it's 2 to 3 hour procedure, and 2 to 3 days post procedure patient has to be in the hospital.
Again, very briefly and very simply explained by Dr. Rajneesh Kapoor, that how the procedure is done, and he said as he mentioned, it's just a moderate sedation and not even anesthesia, so it's kind of that simple. So Dr. Rajneesh, can the patient resume routine activities like walking, driving, and how soon can he do that after treatment?
Yeah, again, very important. So all the patients should know that whether this procedure leads to any impediment in their mobility, is it a deterrent for their normal lifestyle? It's not. It's a very good procedure. Modality is really astounding for the patients, as once the procedure is done and everything is going smooth, as I mentioned, patient can be discharged on the third day. And post discharge, we are actually encouraging the mobilization. We are not restricting the mobilization. We allow the mobilization second or third day. Initially, it has to be slow and gradual, but then over a week's time, patient is back to his total normal activities. And this procedure is good also in a way that it doesn't lead to any blood loss. So the weakness which comes after surgical valve replacements, which span for 2 months or so, there is no weakness resulting from this procedure, and patient usually feels at much more comfort after 3 or 4 or 5 days to get mobilized, and they start walking. No weakness even felt by these patients.
Right. So, in fact, we have to be thankful to technology as well as to professionals like Dr. Rajneesh Kapoor, who make it look so simple. And we've seen patients speaking on the same live. So, Dr. Rajneesh, for how many years will the new valve function?
Yeah, so this is very, very important question. So now TAVR involves, or the valve used in TAVR is a bioprosthetic valve. So what exactly it means? So this means that this valve is made up of a tissue material, which usually is a bovine or mostly a bovine tissue, pericardium. It is made from that. So any tissue valve will degenerate with the due course of time. So is the issue with this valve, that the life up till now of this valve is commented that it stays well and functions normally for 10 to 12 years. And after that, it may show a degeneration, and the time period may vary little bit, but usually this is the span of this valve, 10 to 12 years. The technology is fast advancing. Even if the valve degenerates after 10 to 12 years, we can perform another TAVR with valve in valve after 12 years. So that is a future. Nobody has seen that. But that is one reason, because the degeneration of this valve is around 10 to 12 years, that it is not indicated in younger patients. So we are absolutely not advising this procedure in less than 50 years of age who has a critical aortic stenosis, because then for sure that after 12 years he will be requiring another procedure. So in those cases, the preferred option should be surgical valve replacement with mechanical valves, with metal valves. Metal valves have they have a longer durable life, but the problem with metal valves is that patient has to constantly take those blood thinners, and if it is done in older population, then these blood thinners may actually induce lot of bleeding chances in these patients. So metallic valves via surgery is also not indicated in patients over 65 years of age. Normally in surgery, if the valve is replaced over 65 years of age patient, they still, in surgery also the bioprosthetic valves are used. So the clear zone is that 65 years is the timeline where if the patient has aortic stenosis and because of other morbidities, the TAVR is a preferred option, and the durability of the valve is clearly slated to be around 10 to 12 years.